mourning the lives lost on the atomic bombs. We pledge to convey the truth of this tragedy throughout Japan and the world. Pass it on to the future, learn and lesson of the history, and build a peaceful world free from nuclear weapons. On August 6, 1945, a single atomic bomb indiscriminately killed tens of thousands of people, utterly destroyed the city, and devastated even the lives of those who barely managed to survive. At the moment of detonation, fierce heat ray and massive amount of radiation were emitted in every direction. At the same time, the surrounding air expanded, generating a super high pressure blast. The complex interaction of these three factors amplified the damages. The damage inflicted by the atomic bomb is characterized by massive and instant destructions, indiscriminate mass slaughter. Also, the after effects of radiations are endurance, the unpredictable. The atom is a basic unit of all matters. When the vast number of atomic nuclei are split in nuclear fusions, chain reactions, an enormous amount of energy is released in radiation, heat, and burst. Atomic bomb uses this energy to inflict massive destruction. Uranium-235. When a neutron strikes onto the nucleus of the atom, the neutron is absorbed and separated that nucleus. This process is called nuclear fusions. Fusions release more neutrons and a large amount of energies. The free neutrons collide with the nuclei of other atoms, continuing the fusion process. Nuclear chain reactions release a tremendous amount of energy in an extremely short period of time. The atomic bomb emitted massive amount of radiation that inflicted greatest damage on human bodies. Acute symptoms that appear soon after the atomic explosion included diarrhea, headache, hair loss, hemorrhage, and breath disorders. Radiation penetrated deep into human bodies, damaged cells, causing serious injury to internal organs, including the blood, forming the tissues in bone marrow. Blood and sticky rain fell over people feeling the from fires. Injured and thirsty people drank the rain pouring onto them. The rain was radioactive. nuclear weapon-free zone, NWFZ, created an area without nuclear weapons by banning the possession of nuclear weapons by all countries in that area. The treaties included legally binding agreements by nuclear weapons states never to use nuclear weapons in the zone. The establishment of NWFZ is a regional approach to nuclear disarmament and security assurance. The Treaty of the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons is the first legally binding instrument to prohibit nuclear weapons, and bans each stated party from developing, testing, producing, manufacturing, as well as acquiring, possession, stockpiling, transferring, using, or threatening to use nuclear weapons under any circumstances. It also refers to the unacceptable sufferings and harm caused to the Hibakushin and the efforts undertaken by the Hibakushis towards the total elimination of nuclear weapons. From now onward, it is considered that the issue to be solved is to make the treaty into force as soon as possible, and to encourage all states, including nuclear-armed nations, and nations that are under the nuclear umbrellas, to sign and ratify the treaty. The abolition of nuclear weapons will not happen without a global public demand. International public opinions must be around it to turn national policies towards the abolition of nuclear weapons. Individual groups, corporations, cities, and nations must be committed to peace and determined to build a society free from nuclear weapons. People around the world must strengthen their solidarity and work together. The efficacy of such cooperation was demonstrated by non-governmental organizations in establishing the Treaty of the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons. It is now more important than ever for human beings to work together to build an enormous movement toward the world free of nuclear weapons.
In 2015, the United States and other Western countries and Iran signed an agreement that they eased economic sanctions in return for restrictions on Iran's nuclear programs. However, tension between the two countries have persisted since former President Donald Trump withdrew from the nuclear deal and resumed sanctions against Iran in 2018. Iran resumes its nuclear program after Trump's withdrawal from the nuclear agreement. Western nations have accused Iran of trying to develop nuclear weapons. Both countries have denied. Tehran had threatened it could restart its enrichment program if America withdrew, but also stated it could reach an agreement with the other 5 signatories to keep the structure in place. Some security experts warned that if the deal fell apart, and the UN could lose its access to Iranians' nuclear sites. Former President Trump mentioned that it is clear to me that we cannot prevent the Iranian nuclear bomb under a decaying and routine structure of the current agreement. The move threatened to unlevel the signature foreign policy achievement of President Barack Obama, a leader that took years to hammer out. Trump signed an order reimposing harsh U.S. sanctions on Tehran that had been lifted as part of the nuclear deals. Iranian state television said the decision to withdraw the United States from the deal was, quote, illegal, illegitimate, and undermines international agreements. U.S. allies, such as France, immediately expressed their disappointed with this choice. International community to stick with the Iran nuclear deal pointed out that Iran had complied with the obligations. The nuclear deal with Iran is crucial for the security of the region of Europe and the entire world. Trump's decision was misguided and a serious mistake. The deal did nothing to constrain Iranian destabilizing activities, including its support for terrorism.
May we always remember the tragedy of this lovely city. May we all work to make sure it will never happen again. Love and peace.